Good evening and welcome to this week's MRE Scoop. We've got a special guest who's going to be joining us in a moment, going to tell us all things real estate. Maya, in the house on school holidays or TAFE holidays. Next shout out. I was on the phone to Mum this morning. She said, "Can you wave to me?" Yes, I'm waving, Mum. How are you? So I thought of a good idea. If anyone wants me to do something silly, do it. Not that that's silly, Mum, because I love you. But if you want me to do something, just sing out. All right, good old mates, the clearance rates. Let's get into them. I did my last week's scoop outside, so it may not have been very accurate on the numbers I was yelling out. But 2 weeks ago, that's a really cool number. 585 auctions, 70% clearance rate. Remember, our target's 400. Anything above that means it's humming. And you can see last week it was a little down, as expected. Second week school holidays, people probably just getting all the kids back to school. So we'll see what happens next week. Last week I did make a note of what we're seeing of first home buyers and investors doing most of the buying. And interestingly enough, data came in last night and tells us that MRE Scoop's pretty much on track, which is good. I'm going to keep those guys up there for anyone who wants to keep their eyes on cool real estate podcasts. So you're not just hearing it from MRE. Dr. Andrew Wilson and Michael Yardy, they did one last week. They do it monthly. Check them out on LinkedIn. That's where you'll find them. Notes from the data that we received from last night, which is realestate.com data. So he's the powerhouse and got the majority of the data. So data's in for June. It's, if you want more data, come and see me and I'm happy to send it to you. What we look at is the 10 most viewed areas or suburbs around our area. And what I'm taking from it, because March and April and May, we saw this sort of climb in properties going on the market. And then in June, we're seeing a few peaks and then we're seeing a few troughs. The peaks that we're seeing, in my opinion, are the areas where people bought in the last 5 years and they invested around the Oran Park, Gregory Hills, Currans Hill area. They're the properties that we saw go on the market in the month of June. Generally speaking, back over here, what we assumed last week, first home buyers and investors were coming onto the market. Investors were selling properties, and that is a bit of a trend there. So Oran Park, Gregory Hills, Currans Hill, we saw quite a bit an increase in listings in those areas. But then your owner-occupier areas, everyone's sort of battling down, waiting for our RBA, July 30. The Harrington Parks, Camden Parks, Camden Central, Narellan Central. Not a lot of properties, as many properties went on the market, and some numbers went down. Normal, July, owner-occupiers not wanting to sell in the winter months. So we're expecting, because the buyer inquiry has been really good from the 1st of April, as we know. So what does this mean? We're expecting large volumes in spring. Expect it. So buyers, if you don't want to buy now, I would if I was you. If you want to wait for the RBA on the 30th of July, see what he does. He's not going to do anything because he watches the scoop and he says, don't touch it. So expecting, if you are thinking of buying, if I'm thinking of buying, I'm buying right now, because in 2 or 3 months' time, you're going to be up against a lot of buyers and that's going to push prices up, which is good. But for buyers, I'm on your side of the fence. If I'm thinking of buying, we're looking around and thinking of buying now. So hello, Mum. Love you. And I will see you all next week.